How can wealth influence freedom? We will discuss this in depth. There are significant differences between the terms wealth, money, and your position in society. You wish to strive for wealth from all three. A primary reason people want to build wealth in life is freedom. That comes in several forms. Today, we are discussing the idea of wealth as a facilitator of freedom. Money and wealth are different. Working for monies means you are exchanging your time and effort. In contrast, wealth is the fortune that grows above your direct input, making money while you sleep and continue to grow even if you decide to take a break. Even though anyone earns a lot of money, one can still have money problems. The immediate type of freedom wealth solves is freedom from money problems. The question of whether money can make you happy is still open, but one thing is sure: lack of money makes you unhappy. Unhappiness originates in our inability to get through life comfortably and unencumbered. Most people have difficulties becoming financially free. It is hard for them to escape money problems. The majority work multiple jobs within 4 or 5 decades. They believe the system they have worked in for all those years will secure aging well during the years of the elderly. Occasionally, they struggle with their finances until the end and pass on the debt to their children. Wealth solves this problem as long as you don't screw around with it. A house you live in does not contribute to the wealth if it requires you to go out and trade your time to pay the mortgage or utilities. When you rent it out to someone else, a house goes from a liability to an asset. To create wealth, you need value-creating assets. Escaping money problems is nothing new. Each generation has its version of wealth-building protocol. A cow used to be the most critical asset. It was because it gave milk and one could sell the milk if one decides. A man's wealth was determined by how many cows, sheep, and chickens he owned. The fundamental money problems are food and shelter. One finally becomes free once their income from wealth crosses the threshold of food and shelter. Following this, you have to expand it so that wealth can support the whole family and make tomorrow predictable from a money problem. No one can afford the luxury of working on a state of mind if their children have nothing to eat. The purpose of wealth is to let the individual live without money problems. Food taken care of, bills taken care of. The future is secure because you have enough to give yourself a fighting chance. And that takes us to the following type of freedom wealth facilitates: freedom to fail. Wealth determines how many times you can afford to fail and still do well. It's a luxury combined with timing, money, and mind toughness. If you are 18 years old, no family, and minimal overall expenses, you can start and fail multiple times. But what if you're 50? What if your family needs your salary to survive? Can you afford to quit your job? Can you work for the next 5 years on your startup without pay? Guess not. It is one of those incredible advantages that people born into wealthy families have. Although everyone dislikes the rich kids because they have done nothing to deserve the privileged situation they find themselves in. Deep down, we are probably all hypocrites because we all want our children to have access to the best possible resources to maximize their potential. If you build your wealth, you can afford to pursue any of your passions for the rest of your time. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll be fine. That's the main reason you need to solve the wealth problem first. There's a brilliant saying: to become a successful philosopher king, it is much better to start as a king than as a philosopher. Nassim Taleb says. The purpose of wealth is that you have this safety net. It allows you to try the things that you find interesting. We are very complex creatures forced into tiny boxes by the environment, hoping for efficiency and increased productivity. I hope you are enjoying our video essay on wealth. Do us a favor and hit the like button below this video. Also, let us all know how would you enjoy these freedoms in the comments below. Pause the video now because we'd like you to share it with us. And this takes us again to the following type of freedom wealth facilitates. Freedom to explore. We are multivariate individuals. Society forces us to choose which path in life we want to take. What do you want to be when you grow up? Adults usually ask children. Folks might be living a life they didn't choose for themselves. They haven't had the luxury of finding out. Do you like to pursue your true happiness? You shall make the time to grow and figure out what makes you happy and fulfilled. You can find your thing. You are likely to experience more. Eventually, choose the one that interests you the most. Furthermore, it doesn't stop there. For what interests you in one period of your life might not maintain said interest later. It should come as you evolve and develop an appetite for growth. The wealth allows you the luxury to explore and understand yourself within the world which you are molding. The more you learn about that, the more you become a part of it. Some things would fascinate you within the next decade. Our perception of the whole reality is limited. You don't know about it because you haven't explored the unknown deep enough. We all know there are things, we can feel it though. We are naturally curious beings. We are interested in exploring what makes us feel things. If you mix freedom to explore with an idea safe tomorrow, you end up with a particular type of freedom. Freedom to pursue passions. This type of freedom is exciting because we are not doing it for monetary gain. You don't go fishing to make money. Neither do you not play video games, build ships in a bottle, or spend time with your pet for profit. People are mainly doing it because it makes us feel good within. Passions require time, and time is valuable. Passions also need money, and money requires time to make money. You start recognizing the real difference of what you want instead of having to do it. True wealth is being able to choose how you use your time. Folks forgo their passions away as they do not fit with the demands of a busy society. Passions are not a necessity for survival. A life well lived paves passions all around. Therefore, most fall short. Anytime you trade a piece of yourself, there's less of you left. Eventually, you become broke and left empty. The purpose of wealth is not only to allow your passions to create a pleasant existence for you, it goes even beyond that. It is the ultimate freedom we will discuss now. Release from self and society. Do you know that never-ending voice in your head? It keeps trying to push you in one direction. Even if it's coming from within you, it's not your words. These are the words of people you've met. It's the voice of society that surrounds you. The voice wants you to have a safe job, settle down, to fit in the box. It is true of those who have not yet got themselves into proper shape. Society's way of making people work is to squeeze them into the hole it finds near the individual. So most people's entire lives are wrapped up in the immediate environment. You met your partner within a 30-minute radius of your home. You found your job around. Now you own an apartment there. It's all pretty convenient for your current lifestyle. But there are two selves within us. There's the true self, the one we would become if all doors were open to us. Another identity is dictated by who we think society wants us to be. Wealth lets you put distance between your reality and that annoying voice. Your desire to have peace with your mind, being the observer of that voice, free of the worries. It allows you to be authentic and free of the need to impress people and pretend just for status. Wealth lets you be happy with who you are. You can change if you want to. We have the potential to be in constant change. We are not puzzle pieces meant to be inserted in specific gaps to fill in someone else's picture. We are colors that can go on a different canvas. How much security may wealth provide you? Let's take a better look at how money protects you in different ways. We have learned that wealth goes beyond money. Wealth allows you to enjoy using money more. It facilitates several forms of freedom. If you haven't gone through part 1, I recommend you better start with that one now. There is a link in the top right corner. Now, we will retrace wealth as protection, safety nets, and more. Our ancestors had to survive and protect from the higher forces to carry their genes forward. This is how we understood the importance of shelter. Likewise, every living creature out there wants survival for themselves and for their offspring. Therefore, most beings are willing to sacrifice themselves as a last layer of protection for the new generation. Now, let's dive into the role of wealth in this process of survival and protection. With that said, we are good to move on to the first type of security. This one is also the most obvious. Physical security. You can directly protect the health of those under the umbrella of wealth. The bearer of wealth has an advantage. How can you get that slight edge that might allow you to escape death's grip where others wouldn't be able to? The most direct example is medical costs. Avoid relying on others or go viral to take care of your child's surgery. Your wealth just pays for the best medical treatment for you. Money gives you a fighting chance. Why rich people buy expensive SUVs? If you get in a car accident, your chances of survival are slightly better than driving a less secure car. Wealthy people understand this. They leverage their fortunate position to protect themselves as well as those they love. Wealthy individuals even move their families out of less safe areas. Ordinary people are stuck in the environment they're born in. The rich simply pick their families up and move across the globe to get out of the danger zone. You are individually responsible for your own physical security and those in your inner circle. It does not matter how wealthy you are. Carefully consider how to deploy a portion of your resources to provide financial security. Security from destitution. You want to avoid all-inclusive pain and misery. We are hierarchical creatures. Although monies cannot buy you happiness, they can get rid of many sources of unhappiness. Wealth can solve this for you. It's there to make sure you and people you care about will never have to return to a deficit state and have to worry about keeping the lights on or putting food on the table. Here is an important reason you want to focus on creating wealth instead of building a lifestyle. That's also why you can see rich people broke. They're so tied up to maintain the lifestyle that the opportunity cost results in them sacrificing the wealth. You can actually achieve both. You want to build wealth first and allow wealth to pay for your lifestyle. What would happen if you become unable to work in the next year? Would your family survive? How would your lifestyle be impacted? Probably poverty isn't an immediate threat for most of you, but how about debt? Current society runs on debt. Most people out there have this gloomy, dark cloud of debt following them anywhere they go, like a shadow. Imagine having this burden off your shoulders, to know that you are free. We know what it is like growing up with sacrificing our desires. The pain and harm were caused by the lack of something so trivial as money. This is why I've made it my mission to build wealth. Wealth protects you from this feeling. It prevents financial emergencies smartly and provides you with more security in life. Usually, people believe that a lucrative job and security from poverty are the same, but it is not. They only lie to you because they, unfortunately, didn't have the resources to know any better. Usually, they told you that you will need a lucrative job to become wealthy and successful in life. But do you know anyone who found this is not true on their own? Feel free to stop the video now and let us know that story in the comments section below. Nobody gets rich by working for someone else. If you want to learn how to earn your first million, then check a link in the top right corner. We bring you a list of 15 ways how to make millions. If you want to build wealth, you need to own value-creating assets. And this leads us to the following kind of security. Security through diversification. You need to own value-creating assets to become rich. That would be your own business or other assets like real estate, popular commodities, or stores of value, Bitcoin, art, or gold. Suppose you haven't even started with cryptocurrencies. In that case, you can click on a link in the right corner to learn how to invest your first $1,000 in crypto, especially Bitcoin, while its price is still under $100,000. There is a long list of stories with wealthy individuals throughout our history with an image of having incredible loads of gold. This is a reason why the treasuries were filled to the brim with gold coins. The true meaning of wealth is to avoid the financial burden from the individual and provide them security. You can achieve this by having multiple sources of income not dependent on you. Remember it. As soon as you manage to create multiple value-creating assets during your time in this life, you will enjoy utmost freedom and never have to worry about monies. Income diversification is the most advanced kind of financial security. Why it is so important is because it saves you. So if you already manage to accumulate money and want to invest them to make more money, we bring you another video with practical tips on how to turn 1 million into 5 million. Please find the link in the top right corner now. Furthermore, you'll find all the links below this video after you finish watching the current episode. Shelter from black swan incidents. In this context, a black swan refers to something that is statistically unlikely to happen. This term was coined by a famous thinker, Nassim Taleb. The recent pandemic was a black swan when many countries were caught unprepared. Wealth gives you the power to win the fight with that 1 in a million rare illness. Otherwise, it is usually quite costly to treat. Wealth gives you the absolute advantage to feel blessed when everybody else would be in complete panic. And finally, social security. And no, I'm not talking about your social security number. I mean putting distance between you and the harm that society can cause to you. Discrimination is still playing an incredibly nefarious role in our society. The wealth can shelter you from it to some degree. Success, fame, and wealth share the common security through elevation. Wealth goes beyond your race, language, or your birthplace. It levels the playing field among the people, so it's hard to sneer on someone wealthier than you. Unless you screw everything up on the utmost scale, you will be fine through wealth. The purpose of wealth is your protection from any type of hardness, either mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. So, if you want your children to feel safe, become wealthy. This is why we're now passing the question on to you. What was the time of your life when the wealth could have bought you security, but you didn't have it? Let us know in the comments below the video. There you can find also links to all related videos I mentioned here. Who wants to have a life filled with convenience? Let's take a look at how having monies can make your life pretty comfortable. Hello and welcome back as we continue in our growth series on wealth. As much as any individual might want to brush it off as insignificant, comfort is truly the third reason we need wealth and justifies its pursuit. How do you like to express your love? Smash the like button below this video now. So, what is comfort? Is it the minimization of suffering and hopelessness? A person can go through life with comfort and focus on pleasure and well-being. We are sensory creatures, so it comes in many shapes and forms. It goes beyond the lovely couch in your home. With that said, let's begin with what's inside the body. Comfort by food. What we put in our body and environment influences the way we experience life. The most significant benefits of wealth allow you to improve them by your personal needs and long-term visions. Choosing the right food has become a luxury and an inconvenience for the average person. How much easier is it to grab some takeaway than to make yourself a salad? Not to mention the most of the time it's even cheaper. Many folks eat junk food because of convenience and, on the second layer, financial reasons. Wealth is a facilitator for the quality intake. If you feed yourself with appropriate food for you, you feel great, and this feeling is a form of comfort. Your body feels great, your muscles are getting stronger, and your brain functions at a higher level. What a fantastic feeling! It allows you to take care of the number one person you should take care of. It is you. Our early precursors saw nourishment as true wealth. Those who controlled food resources were the wealthiest. They didn't have to battle for survival. Imagine just how big an impact food has on our comfort in life. Now we have this underlying component to associate food with our well-being. There's an entire universe of sensory experiences triggered by food. You could explore every culture around the world through culinary experiences if you want. To continue forward with the next layer, we'll find shelter. Comfort by shelter. The shelter is a combination of freedom and security. It's your private corner of the universe. You've designed it to fit who you are to the best of your abilities. You're the queen or the king in this empire that you created. Your home might be the place where you will spend most of your time while sleeping in your bed. The purpose of wealth is to give you as much comfort throughout your life as possible. There is no more of a precise application than in your own home. People need space, clean air, and water. The correct setting can radically improve creativity, release stress, and increase happiness. The average person cannot afford true comfort. As a society, we have chosen to organize economic development before the quality of life. People are living in suboptimal conditions. Less it is closer to self-picked cages. So how can someone be happy when you're living like this? Some people are fortunate to have a home. They are the global middle class, while a good portion of the population lives in slums. It is the reason why you want to avoid being naive and working so hard. It is why you want to innovate and focus on building your wealth. You probably do not want anybody you care about ever to go back to these conditions. We are in front of the third and probably the most crucial type of comfort. Growth of child in a comfortable environment. The light side of growing up poor is that you don't know that. Inevitably, you realize it, and by that time, it can be too late. Growing up in poverty has put some scars on your soul and already altered who you are as a person. It influences your core decision-making factors. In a tiny amount of them, a fire starts burning up inside of them, and that allows them to escape poverty. This hunger usually never stops. On the other hand, the rest just settle for what's comfortable to them. Mediocrity. Mediocrity means putting up with shit you shouldn't have to just because that's how things are. Abuse, discomfort, and discrimination. Those are just a few pieces of what this lifestyle endures. You can easily shield the next generation of these scars through wealth. We all desire our kids to grow up, thrive, be healthy, solid, and valuable members of our society. You have the power to change the landscape through wealth. You can give those who have the potential a fighting chance to follow what they truly feel like and not do what they should in the hopes of survival. There are many kinds of comfort out there. A few seem to be more valuable than be sure that your child is safe. No matter how wealthy you are, teaching your kids about the value of money is an essential task to do. And this leads us again to the following kind of comfort. Comfort by privacy. As I was talking about freedom, I've touched a bit of privacy. However, there's more about it in terms of comfort. Privacy is when the world is leaving you alone to be yourself. You can be peaceful and comfortably away from any social problems. As the world evolves more and more, we are likely beginning to see privacy as one of the essential elements we want for a comfortable and free life. It is especially with how technology is evolving. Intelligent people figured that in 1948, under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 12. It says, "No one shall be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence, nor to unlawful attacks on his honor and reputation. Everyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks." Almost all countries signed up to abide by this. So what is the concern about social media actively taking out data to make money? What about facial recognition software installed on street cameras all around the globe? However, things get a little bit more tricky here because the argument always boils down to protect people from terror. That is valid, but if this comes through the infringement of human privacy rights, are we making progress as a society? Nobody can live a genuinely comfortable life knowing that everything they do is being monitored and used against them, because that's not what freedom is. Everything you do online is tracked. Every search you make, every click you do, every website, your name, your face, age, location, love, interests, and marital status. And they even measure your time looking at someone's photo to draw some data. This is why we personally no longer connect to the internet without a VPN. It's a simple-to-use software that hides all this information from prying eyes with one click. You just never realize how much different elements can affect your comfort. Which takes us to the last one in our life: emotional comfort by fun. How would your life be without a little bit of fun? It is an essential spice. The purpose of wealth allows your well-being to be experienced in all shapes and forms. Fun is an integral part of being alive. We all have a spectrum of desires. Capital can fulfill a good portion of them. So always remember to use your wealth also to cheer your time. Almost every type of fun can be fed with money, from travel adventures to toys. When you receive a gift, a certain feeling you get when a dose of dopamine hits you. Since we are social creatures, fun is a very shareable concept. You can enjoy the fun with other people and share the dopamine-inducing source with them. Why would you want to go through life not having fun? Money and wealth are supposed to feed energy, not the other way around. Some people live to work, but others work so they can live. Remember it as long as you live. Make money, hit your goals, be disciplined, but remember to use it to create an extraordinary life so that it isn't just a financial target. The concept of fun includes everything that makes your experience feel like it was worthwhile. What are some of the most valuable things you have from your past? Those are the fun memories you have been able to collect. Nobody remembers their 7th paycheck, but we all remember hanging out with our pals. Fun is a true comfort of emotions. But some fun comes from material things. Others might find fun through connecting to the universe in the sense of emotions. Take a look at wealth as a source of comfort. Can you realize the holistic approach one should follow? It starts to feed your body, protect your body, control your mind, and look out for the future in the context of taking care of your soul. Wealth can do all of this for you if you know how to use it. And that is even not all. We will continue in the next part. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us help you get wherever you want to go. Life seems nowadays too short to live comfortably all the time in one place with one kind of a mindset and not exploring the potential of life you've been given. See you soon.